Yay, Corey. I'm just gonna move it. No, this is YouTube. Okay. And you are live.
Hi, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Bud Rebel Show. Now, I go out there and I put out my honest political views, and some strange reason disagree with me. I'm one of those people who's here live on stage with us. His name is Sam. Now, of course, when you do these debates, there are some rules, but Sam, like most Democrats, decided to make their own rules, and so he brought his notes and he told me you would not allow notes. And of course, like most Democrats, he won't get in trouble. Of course, if I was here, I'd be kicked off the stage. But, so we are going to have the debate with his notes and with my blank sheet of paper. I will have to use my line, which is going to be hard because I guess that's what fairness is. Anyway, we will start the debate with our moderator asking some questions to both of us, and hopefully we'll have a very interesting debate.
Thank you for having me, bud.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you, Sam. Even with your notes.
Hi, I'm Corey. I am the moderator for this debate. This is now the second debate between Samuel Ashkenazy and Mr. Bud Rebel. This is a very left-leaning person versus a very right-leaning person. I don't think either of them identify with either party 100%. They both have their very own independent thoughts about political issues and discourse.
Screen, so we don't need we're not going to be on screen, so we don't need a long speech.
Okay, whatever. I'm gonna shut up now. All right. Well, we're gonna go to our first question. Can you guys hear me okay from over
I
there?
can hear you. You sound great.
Fantastic. Thanks.
And I'm glad I'm on the right side.
And I'm glad I'm on the center side of both of your bullshit because it stinks from here. All right. We're gonna start with Doge. That is our very first topic. All right. So Doge stands for the Department of Government Efficiency. This is headed by Elon Musk. He was appointed by President Donald Trump. Main objective right now of Doge is to find spending discrepancies in our government. Although the department does not have the constitutional authority to act on department suggested fiscal cuts, they still are tasked with this assignment. Currently, the constitutionality of this department's existence remains unclear. Now, here is your debate question.
Well, sorry. I wouldn't just say that I disagree with that already statement.
Yeah, well, wait for the
You can't
debate.
disagree with facts, bud.
You
No,
did. This is what is online.
No, online does not make it right or wrong. But I will go into
But
that.
there is a
No, I will have
But
a
so you didn't wait for the question.
That was the question. You already
I
made
did
it.
not wait.
You
What's
said
the
it's
question?
unconstitutional.
You cannot argue with the moderator. I am not in this debate.
You said it was unconstitutional.
I am not in this
You
debate.
said it was unconstitutional.
I am not in this debate.
Okay, go ahead. Your question.
Shush. Is
Keep
the
it
depart?
serious, thank you.
Shut up. Is the Department of Government Efficiency constitutional?
Thank you. Okay, so I will say straightforwardly, yes, it is constitutional. He is working with the president.
Based on what?
As an advisor, the president is allowed to appoint any advisor as long as they don't have court official making official decisions. He's not making decisions. The president agrees with the decisions. He's giving him the authority to go over this book and look over it. And it's the most amazing thing that's happened in this country. I can't even understand why anybody would be against these things. What? You don't say like that. It's so amazing. Well, this is what amazed me. Sam wants to pay people that are 350 years old, as the Social Security numbers are still doing it. Sam then wants to also, that's 100 true. Sam wants to pay people over 100 years old, with all that keep over, I think, millions of doing. Sam wants to pay for people that, this again, Sam wants to pay for people that aren't working. He wants to pay for government contracts.
Sorry, can we stop framing what I want?
Okay,
Can you just talk about what you want? And
Yes,
what you think is
what I want is I want to help those who truly need things and not help bureaucracy that is feeding and bleeding us dry. I want to stop people who are being paid money for doing absolutely nothing or being overpaid or using our money in ways that we didn't call for. We have a constitutional government, which is a three-party system, country system.
30 seconds.
Oh, really? Oh, really? I didn't know it's time limit. Okay. Sorry. We have our executive branch, legislative, and judicial branch. Bureaucracy is not a branch of government, and it has become a part of government, and it has spent monies that were not allocated by the Congress and has wasted trillions of dollars, which is going to hurt my friend over here. A lot faster than
2, 1, 0.
You're right, bud. The Doge cuts are going to hurt me a lot faster than you because you're rich and I'm not. And the Doge cuts and almost all of the Republican plan is helping rich people. By the way, you're wrong. The Constitution does actually explicitly go against this department being created. In fact, Republican Justice Scalia famously said that a department cannot be created with an executive order, and that same department cannot have oversight from the Congress. This same department that Elon Musk, who is an unelected shadow government billionaire, stripping the Congress of their power right now, he's sitting there cutting things like SNAP benefits, Medicare, and Medicaid. You know, SNAP benefits are the things that help feed children that are too poor. So it's definitely going to hurt them. He's cutting USAID, which, well, I'm sure we'll get into that on a deeper level, but, that's hurting American farmers because USAID buys tons and tons and tons of their crops, all of which are now sitting at our ports going bad, and all of our food's going bad because Elon Musk cut all of the people that are supposed to be distributing it. In Doge, you have these amazing people. You have a bunch of 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds in charge of all our social security data and our financial data now. You have Edward Cordstein, Big Balls on Twitter for anybody. Big Balls, he is, he's a former KGB, he's the son of a former KGB spy. You have Marco Alez, he's 25. He said that you could not pay me to marry outside my own race, and he was racist before it was cool. Such great people that Trump is hiring. It's really pretty incredible. Basically what I'm just getting to is these cuts are actually killing people. They're killing people outside of this country because of the cuts to USAID. They're killing people in this country who are not going to be able to eat. PEPFAR, one of the most successful government agencies of all time, which has saved 25 million lives from HIV. There's no actual proof that it's operationally functional right now. I could just keep going on. The Doge cuts, Elon's sitting there saying that we're saving so much money. Here's the truth of it from Republican congressman from Arizona. Put it very well. He said if we got rid of all of the foreign aid, totaling $57.25 billion, it would only pay for 1 week of borrowing. If we got rid of all of the money that we put into the United Nations, it would only cover 2 days worth of borrowing in this country. If we got rid of the entire Department of Education salaries, $2.75 billion, it would only cover 9 hours worth of borrowing.
10, 9.
Oh, okay, give it extra time. So, I would say, Sam, why don't you talk about you versus me in this situation? This deficit doesn't affect me. I'm going to get my Social Security benefits because I'm at that age almost. But you are not. We cannot survive at this deficit
I didn't
alone.
get fucking any sound.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a cut.
It didn't roll any of that.
Which, the
Sorry.
whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we could just make that concise,
Okay.
quicker.
Yeah. Maybe there's a way to make that.
Well, it gives you.
Give like
What?
40
So
Yeah, I mean,
we'll
both
do
of-
we'll do the same.
So let's start over.
We'll do the same thing. We'll
You didn't
start
get the
over.
beginning either, right?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Is it still alive though?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
okay.
fine.
Sounds irritating.
Okay,
So-
I just cut it. You want me to?
Yeah,
do it
I'm gonna
again?
just delete that footage for you because there's no point.
Okay.
The live footage on live.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
So we are still live for those people live watching this debate, and those people that are dead will not be watching this debate.
Why do you guys? Why do you write down what you were saying before? He already has notes.
He did.
I wrote that
You
something
did right already.
That's alright.
after you said it.
So that way you know what you're saying.
So I'll be fine. Okay.
It's fine. There's more to add to the.
All right. So your camera's rolling. Just keep it in frame. And Corey, sound is rolling.
Sound is speeding.
Okay.
Can we
And-
begin?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
has to be
we're
from the beginning.
starting from the beginning.
Okay. Bud, give me a clap. Sam, give me a clap. Corey, give me a clap. It's fine. Okay. And since we're starting over, let's just cut the speeches down because we don't have a camera on you.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's all good. So, Bud, you could start your rule with saying, Sam's a Democrat or whatever.
Yep, start over.
All right. Ready? And you look at this camera. Action.
Hi, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Bud Rebel Show. And tonight we're going to do things a little different. We're having a little political debate. For some strange reason that people that might disagree with us, any one of those people here, Sam, who decided to come and share his point of view. Of course, we said no notes. And before I have no notes, and Sam brought notes. As a typical Democrat, rules do not apply to him. They apply only to Republicans. So I'm decided to let it go because that's the type of person I am. And I'm going to get in trouble with me. I can take that. So then we will start the debate live now, and it should be very exciting. Sam, welcome to the show.
Howdy.
All right, you guys. This is now the second debate between Samuel Ashkenazy and Mr. Bud Rebel. So we have 6 questions on the docket tonight that we will be talking about. So we are going to start off with DOGE. This is the Department of Government Efficiency. This is headed by Elon Musk, appointed by Donald J. Trump, our U.S. president. Main objective of DOGE right now is to find spending discrepancies in a government. Although this department does not necessarily have constitutional authority to act on department's suggested fiscal cuts, this is their job that they have. Currently, the constitutionality of this department's existence remains unclear. Their question to you two is DOGE constitutional?
Thank you. So, not only is DOGE constitutional, it's one of the greatest things this country has put together. It is a formula for the success of millions and millions of young people in this country. Because we are in such a horrible deficit that the basic things that we need in our country will fall apart. Whether it's Social Security, Medicaid, there's no way we can continue this place. It's not so enough. And to think that a bureaucracy, without being checked on a regular basis, could be efficient is ridiculous. The bureaucracy itself is a fourth wall in our government. We have our federal branch, executive branch, and judicial branch. But bureaucracy runs itself without anybody watching. And they spend money on things that we as citizens do not want. We want Sesame Street in Iraq. Do we want transgender studies in Venezuela? Do we want this? No, we didn't vote on it. And they're doing these things behind our back. Not only that, but the inefficiency of our bureaucracy is horrible. We are paying people that for getting monies that don't exist. Social Security is not being checked. We are paying bad debts. People that were thrown off government to pay money to, we are still paying them years later after double. We have contracts that should end in 3 months that are being paid years in advance. We have workers that don't show up at offices, that don't even do work that we're paying for. We have such inefficiency because nobody has checked it. And we have one of the most intelligent persons in this country who's looking through each book, each number, and making sure our money's being spent efficiently. So DOGE not only is constituted is a great thing because again, he is not allowed to make decisions. He's giving advice to the president, and the president is making decisions, and that's totally legal, and it has been challenged in some of the courts right now, and it's continuing in that basis.
Well, thank you, Bud, for sharing all of your feelings on that. The facts is that Republican Justice Anthony Scalia, who is part of the Supreme Court, said that a government agency could not be created by an executive order. And then, furthermore, that same government agency could not operate without government oversight. This agency, who is run by an unelected shadow billionaire government, is sitting there going through all of our financial data. They have no authority to do that. They are stripping away the power of Congress by telling them what the money is actually going to and for. They are taking away the right of power of Congress simply because that's how Congress appropriates their funds. If he's sitting there saying that he can hire and fire whoever he wants and appropriate funds this way and that way and cut all of these things back that Congress, your elected representatives, set for, that's not constitutional. He has a group of 18 to 25-year-olds in there. One of them is named Big Balls. He's the son of a former KGB spy, and he has all of your financial data right now. Just one thing I want to reference in my notes: Republican congressman from Arizona said if we got rid of all of the foreign aid totaling $57.25 billion, it would only pay for 1 week of borrowing. If we got rid of all of the money that we put into the United Nations, it would only cover 2 days worth of borrowing. And if we got rid of the Department of Education salaries, all of them, that's a total of $2.75 billion. It would only cover 9 hours worth of borrowing. I just want to know, bud, where do you see these cuts helping people? I mean, when they cut the Department of Education, when they cut SNAP and food benefits for people, when they cut Medicare and Medicaid for people, when they're cutting USAID so people can't get medication outside of the country. I mean, who is being helped and how?
That's a good question. Then we
Yep.
got it. By the way, just so you know, Obama cut 100,000 employees.
We're not talking
No,
about
no, no. Excuse me. We're talking about the idea of cutting employees in the federal government, and please don't interrupt. Obama cut employees, Clinton cut employees. They both cut. I actually a much higher pace than Trump at this point.
Stop doing what about it and answer the question.
I won't answer the question right away. I want.
Thank you.
It's still on the show, and I do bring notes, so I do what I gotta do.
I'm sorry you didn't research your own
No,
page.
we were not something. But anyway, I'm going back, and so they did cut on many people. And you will not be getting any benefit because there's trillions of dollars that are wasted. If you honestly believe that every government bureaucrat, not being watched by any agency, is spending the money that we are, then you know what? I got a couple bridges to sell you. It's to believe that we can't look through the books. You know, in any business. Excuse me. No, wait. You can ask a question. No. Can I please finish a point? In every
We are
business.
finishing it.
No, I'm not finished. In every business in the world, they look through, accounting looks at each line of the business to make sure it's being efficient. But our government doesn't do it. It's your money. It's your money they're throwing away. It's your hard earned. Yeah, they are throwing money on things. They are throwing money on investigations of our citizens because they were against the idea of how they taught kids in school.
Oh, you mean like how Cash Patel is saying that he's going to investigate our citizens that they go against
No,
Trump?
we're not doing that.
Oh, not that. Okay, sorry.
Cash Patel only talking about the ideas. Your president did that before. Use our FBI. I'll use our FBI authority and use
My president? Which
yes.
president are you talking about?
The previous president. Use
The
USA,
previous president, right?
USA,
Not mine, just the previous president. Our previous president.
USAID, which was supposed to be a group that was supposed to help out foreign government, paid reporters in this country, paid political sources. They used things that the CIA wasn't allowed to do, and they did it against the law of this country. That's where they manipulated it. So it's you listen to Joe Rogan about it. There's a whole documentary about how they've been using our monies against our own citizens, and that is
Well, Joe Rogan's never been wrong before.
I'm not wrong. But the idea is that if you have experts on the plot of reading of this stuff, you know a little bit more, but it's fine. But there's no reason that we can't look through our books and make sure the money that we have spent is being spent effectively. That's what it's about. And if it's being spent effectively, that's great. But if they're wasting, I guess, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great. They're not looking through the books. They're cutting everything. There's a difference between auditing something and just gutting it. Do you agree with that?
I do agree with it.
Okay, so that's not what you're describing. They're gutting everything. They're gutting the Department of Education. They're gutting PEPFAR. They're gutting USAID. They're gutting these organizations. That's not an audit. That's just firing people. My stepdad works at the VA. Have you ever dealt with the VA before?
I do go to the VA.
Great, so then you know that they're already understaffed.
I do, and I also know
Right.
that I also know
They're
there's a lot of
talking-
wasted money. I also know there's a lot of wasted money.
Agreed.
That's good.
But they're talking about firing more people from the VA now. Do you think that's going to help veterans get the care that they need?
It all depends on who you fire. A
No.
lot of middle management.
No!
No?
You just admitted that it was already understaffed.
It is,
If you're
some
talking
areas.
about firing more people,
It's very
that's
good.
not going to help.
Okay, so without getting actually, there are people that work as nurses and doctors and they should be fired. There are people that work as middle management and advertising staff and bureaucrats, and they could be fired. It all depends on the people.
What about the people that make sure the hospital has air conditioning?
How about the idea? By the way, Department of Education, so you know, I want that money going to the communities. Look at this. I want the local communities to have the money. I don't want any bureaucrats up in D.C. worrying about you get $1, and then if the local schools get 10 cents by the time it gets down, all bureaucratic.
Corey, I know you
I wanted to go. I wanted to go to the people.
Hold on, just 1 second. I know you want to interject right now because I see you having the mic right there, but I actually think this is a good topic, and I want to take this to you. So
I'll allow it.
thank you.
You have 2 more minutes.
Thank you. So I would like to just say that I want the resources to go to the people directly. I don't want it in bureaucrats' hands. I don't trust bureaucrats. I trust our people. I want less government. I want more citizens involvement. I need to see somebody, by the way, who's very interesting, who works for a homeless shelter. Past homeless shelter. And he is on the ground helping those people. And he's trying to get government money. You know what it is? It's only, honestly, it's a bunch of BS. They have to go so many loops. Wait, they have to go so many loops to help people that they can't do it. They can't get money to help people. So there's a bunch of BS. You really want to help people? Give it directly to the organizations that actually on the ground. Stop with this government agency to try to. I want to tell you something. A little bit of fact, okay? The Department of Homeless trying to help people. You know what I tell the Department of Homeless? I shouldn't tell you this because I'm probably getting myself in trouble. So maybe I should count this out. I sell fancy furniture to the executives. Okay? It's not for the homeless people. It's bullshit. You spend billions of dollars. This is me frustrating government. You spend billions of dollars, and you have the same crap of homeless people in the street. It has not helped anybody. It's a poverty ring that they make money keeping people poor. That's the whole government. I want the money to help people. That's the difference. It's not doing anything. We're gonna really help people. That's the difference.
Instead of Doge, what you're actually asking for, as I think many Americans are asking for, is not an efficient government, but an effective government.
That's the difference. Government is not meant to be efficient.
The post office is never going to be efficient. Certain government organizations are never going to be efficient. They're going to lose money. The point is that people, civilians, citizens of this country get the services that they are owed.
That's
That's what we're looking
That's
for.
very interesting.
Now, going back to just something because I wanted to talk about it really quick. We're talking about gutting the Department of Education. Why?
I'm gonna answer it.
The reason that we're gutting the Department of Education is because the Republicans think that it's better for schooling to go back to the states.
Objectively,
That's a terrible idea. Aside from the fact that the states don't all have the resources to do that. If you live in New York, if you go to Alabama, there's going to be severe culture shock there. Those have different cultures. And what I'm saying is, if you're going in somewhere like Alabama or
Nebraska or Oklahoma, who recently just had the Bible introduced into the school curriculum.
but all of the gay stuff has to be taken out. Those curriculums all throughout the country are going to be different. And no state is going to have the same curriculum as the state adjacent it. And that means that everybody is going to be getting different education. Also, with privatized education,
That means that all of the kids in
rural areas have no education. Their school, their next private school is 40 miles away, 50 miles away, 60 miles away. There is no school for them. Public education is the only way for people
on a large
scale. It's the only educational route.
Interesting. You know, my idea is that I just think parents should have a decision when the kids go to school. I don't think a poor person. I think a poor person should be able to go to get a voucher and be able to go to private school or a public school.
That sounds nice
You're not
in
letting
theory.
you're not letting me finish.
Wait, we're having a conversation.
No, conversation.
I'm letting you finish.
I don't want to. I want. No,
finish.
let me finish.
But like,
let me finish.
that sounds nice in
Let me
theory.
finish,
There
please.
is no school
no.
for the kid in the middle of Alabama.
Thank you.
Or Nebraska.
They have. Okay. So thank you.
Privatized.
Okay. Yeah. Let me finish. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I would like the parents to decide what is best for the child, giving them that credit when they can decide public or private school.
If
A
they can
child-
afford it.
They will get a voucher, and they will be able to afford it much better than they have right now because all the
School's
bureau.
free.
Oh, thank you.
Public school's free.
And they can choose a public school, it's fine, because they'll get a voucher. And they'll decide
But
what
they
they
can't.
I don't.
Moving on the pathway to eliminate
I
that.
don't want the inner city school kids to have to always go to the inner city public schools, which are horrible for them. If there's a better private school, they have a voucher. That's my opinion. I think everybody should have the opportunity. The parents should have the opportunity to take their kids to any school they think is best for their children. I think parents should have that right. The next question, please.
Just to clarify, there already is freedom of education. The only thing that would be taken away is public schools that serve communities.
Federally funded public schools.
Yeah.
Which means millions of kids going without lunch and breakfast, millions of kids going
I'm not
without.
against
That's
I-
the
I'm
that's
not
the
against it all.
legislation.
I'm not
It's
against
not
it.
it's not an anti-charter school. Charter schools already exist. Private schools already exist. Also, just to clarify,
Right, we're
by
talking-
both of your
we're
children.
talking
we
about
don't,
the
we,
long-term plan.
we don't need clarification.
We're talking about the
We're having a
long-term
debate.
plan of what
It's
this
Both of your
is
children
trying to do.
benefited from public education.
Okay, we don't need to have clarification that we don't need to have ABC News report here. But it was CNN, I'm sorry. Go
We're
ahead,
moving
let's
on
start
to the
with CNN.
next
I
next
understand this thing's
subject.
going to turn too soon. But go next.
The next subject is the Israeli Riviera project. Donald J. Trump, along with Benjamin Netanyahu, the president or current prime minister of Israel.
So the owner of the dog.
Oh, that's up for debate.
That is not
Now,
a very nice response.
Shut the fuck up. Now I have to start over because Mina's gonna have to cut it. And that's annoying
It's
for her.
okay,
Look at
just-
her face. She's unhappy.
Look at her face.
We're starting over.
This is live anyway.
This is the Israeli Riviera project. Donald J. Trump, along with Prime Minister of Israel Benjamin Netanyahu, wants to bulldoze the remaining areas of the West Bank and Gaza to enact a real estate development plan to build an Israeli Riviera to increase tourism. Donald J. Trump has also revealed that in order to take this plan over, if Israel doesn't want to act on it, that he would like to seize all Palestinian-owned territories, no purchase necessary. That's what he said. Hold on, we have to get to the question. Shut up. It is Sheket Bavakasha. So, is this a humanitarian crisis to displace those living in the Palestinian territories already without a concrete plan going forward for development?
Okay, so on my CNN reporter, I would like to just say a few things about this. First of all, Trump actually said that it's up to Israel if they want to do it. So just so you know, we're not doing it. But no, in case you didn't.
That's not what he said.
Yes, he did. Okay. Oh, double CNN reports. So I will have to show that later on. Because I didn't bring notes of it. That wasn't going to be. So when we go back to what I
Bring
would.
up the clip.
No. I'm more than that. No, we don't have time for the. So the point about it is,
I have plenty of time.
I'll do it in post.
I would like to speak instead of being interrupted by the two CNN commentators. So what I'd like to say.
We're not CNN commentators that
Thank you.
disagree with you.
No.
I'm sorry, but
The
reality
moderator,
is
moderator's
also a
always
real
good.
thing.
I would like to speak. If you don't want me to speak, then you can have it off the show. Well, it's my show. But anyway, so I'd like to say this, thank you, is that the poor Palestinians have been used as pawns by different groups of people and been manipulated into this horrible system where education has been propagandized. So they hate Jewish people and they hate Israel and they hate everybody that's there, and they've been in war situations over and over again. The best thing for them, people, is to have them moved out to Egypt. Okay. So have them moved out to Egypt and Jordan, and then we build up, because they can't live like that. Right now, 78% of the land is all destroyed anyway, it goes into war. And they need to get out so they can build it up and make it nice and a place where they can live. And then after that, they can come back and make an international community where they can live and work and be in harmony and work together in a peaceful environment. And that is the best thing for them and best thing for the world as a whole, because they've been used as pawns. If you care about the Palestinian people, if you truly care about them, they shouldn't be living in a place, in a war zone, and they're being used by these evil forces to keep dying as they happen. So, thanks for calling.
Great. It's weird. I cared about them before the war, which is why I think that, I cared about them enough to say that they don't belong in occupation that lasts forever. Here's the thing with Trump's plan here is, first off, there's nothing about it that's
America first. He's talking about spending all of our American
tax dollars to rebuild Gaza, Israel's mess.
He's talking about sending our boys and girls to go there and clean up the unexploded ammunition. So, little Charlie, little Sally can just go step on a bomb and blow up. It's fun because it's our kids.
It's fine. They're just expendable. They're not real. They're just fodder, for the rich people. Then Bud has this lovely idea of,
while we're spending all of our money to rebuild Gaza, we're just going to shift the population out of there and just
neighboring countries that don't want them, can't afford them, and have no intention of taking them. And then we're just going to move them back into occupation, supposedly. Afterwards, after we have taken all of their land,
after we have taken all of their culture, after we have decimated everything that they've spent the last year fighting for, the last hundreds of years fighting for, now they're going to be totally fine with just moving out and moving back in, re-owned. Sure, bud, that's how it's going to work. That's not how it's going to work. That's not how reality is going to work. They're going to fight anybody trying to relocate them. In that case, we're going to go into more genocide. And we're going to be the ones now causing the ethnic cleansing. And now, Israel, Bibi Netanyahu, dog-walked our president and got every fucking thing he wanted out of him because he actually can't make a deal for shit because he's a fucking idiot. And our boys and girls are going to die. Our taxpayer dollars are going to be wasted.
30 seconds.
And none of those people are going to get justice for all of the horror that has happened to them. Hamas is terrible. They are a terrible government organization. The people in Palestine deserve justice. And those poor people are going to be fucked.
Okay. Hi. By the way, I couldn't disagree anything more. Other than, I guess probably part of it a little bit. But other than that, I can't. First of all, they haven't been occupied. That's bullshit. They have the Gaza Strip. They could have done the way they want. They could have built a beautiful capital. They didn't have to use the weapon money to build bombs and kill people. They didn't have to do that. They don't. Excuse me. I didn't interrupt you as much as I hated everything you said. I didn't interrupt you. So please don't interrupt me. Thank you. I appreciate it. They could have had a beautiful land. They could have had a beautiful river, a hotel. Instead, they decided to build bombs and missiles. And October 7th, kill innocent children, babies, and keep us hostages. And you know what? After seeing that picture, honestly, after seeing that picture of throwing out candy, when the corpses are coming through, and watching that, and seeing that sheer death, and watching like almost holocaust things coming out there, starving death. Honestly, it's really hard for me to have a little sympathy for these people. Honestly, there's a point where sympathy gets to be a little too much.
For the Palestinians?
Yeah,
or Hamas?
no, the Palestinian people. They cheered for that. It's a little. Wait, excuse me. I'm talking about me. There's a point where my sympathy goes down the drain a little bit. I'm trying to be reasonable, give them a chance to have a normal life. But they've been taught to hate me. If they had any ounce of loving, half the amount that we love life as much as they hate and kill Jews. During October 7th, one of the people in Hamas called their mother and said, "Look what I did! I killed a Jew." That was their big thing. They're not worried about getting a job, getting married. They care about killing Jews. That's what they want to do, kill people. And excuse me, there's 1,000 people. They all know about it. It's a disgusting thing. Hamas needs to be annihilated from the earth, not even exist in any way, form, or shape, and they need to be totally not to even think that like the Nazis were destroyed. We didn't worry about killing innocent Nazis. We did destroy. This is like the Nazis plus 5 because they did it very openly. At least Nazis have been able to hide it a little bit. This is a vile organization. We need to wipe off this earth. Okay, so it's just to see that we're so worried about it. Yeah, we're gonna build a nice area. It's gonna be an area. It's gonna be an area with the international community. Israel's gonna be in charge of taking care of the area so it's cleaned up. And so forth.
We're gonna
But
clean
by the way,
up.
Our boys and girls and get them killed.
I just want to say one thing also that really bothers me.
Troops on the ground.
Excuse me. No, it's not troops.
That's what he said. That's literally what he said in the press conference. Bring up the video.
No, I'm more than happy with that. So, but one thing I really think that stuff is this rich people, poor people thing. It's getting my nerves a little bit. The only reason I'm in politics is also because I care about poor people. That's the only reason. I care about people there because all these bureaucrats in Washington D.C. they live off keeping people poor. Al Sharpton is like a multimillionaire and he's keeping racism up. He's doing that. So many people are making money on poor people, keeping them down, wanting them to get drugs. I mean, it's disgusting how it's happening that we allow these people to continue. The bureaucrats want this thing to be decided. They don't want anything solved. They don't want to give the parents the choice to make decisions because they might solve the problem without the government, and then they won't have a job. How many people work in the government? That they work there, staying at home when we all went to work after COVID. They have the right to stay home and
We have
work at home.
strayed from the original
Just want to remind
topic.
you we're talking about Gaza.
But,
We're talking about we're talking about Israel.
Thank you. I appreciate
Sam,
that.
do you have any closing
Okay,
remarks?
thank you.
Sam, do you have any closing remarks?
No, I just don't.
Before we move on to the next- we're moving on to the next
I know, I
subject.
understand what you're saying, but I really resent him bringing up the idea that he's for the poor people and for the rich people. I really gonna discuss it.
This isn't part of the same
yeah,
thing.
he did bring it up, and I will always resent that because I am for all people. I'm not for black people, white people, Jews. I'm for all people. I'm for America. I want to make America great. That is everybody who's legally in this country to have a great life.
Your
Thank you.
for poor people, but you're still okay with cutting SNAP benefits.
No, I'm not okay with cutting.
Okay, but they cut that.
No, they didn't
So
cut
you
it.
don't
No,
agree
no,
with
no,
that?
No, they didn't cut SNAP.
They did.
No, they didn't. I'm after
They
the
did.
I'm happy. Okay.
Confirmed because mine
can
were
you,
cut.
Can you please stop being a moderator? Be a moderator and start a thing. Would you like to please just do the job and afterwards?
Bud doesn't want a
Thank you.
moderator.
It's a
Thank you.
fact.
No,
though.
Drew
no,
actually
no,
conflicts
they
with
know.
his
They're not
feelings
anything. No.
about these
No,
topics
it's not.
that are not
no.
facts.
Okay.
Okay, well, we're going to move on to the next question because it has strayed from the original topic. Now, the next topic is Greenland and its conquering.
These are all
Really?
questions are very fun.
All these questions are within the gray area of what is
I'll
brought
ask a
up.
question after you.
How about instead
And-
of Greenland, what about if we just talk foreign policy?
We're not talking about foreign policy, we're talking about Greenland.
Maybe they both can ask one question.
I only do what I see on the Man Society page on Instagram, which is a right-leaning Instagram page.
Okay, fine. Let's talk about Greenland.
That's where I get all of my
Okay.
questions from.
How is he bringing down the price of eggs, Bud?
Hold on, we're not talking about that.
Well,
Everybody
I
shut
mean
up.
that is part of it, right?
We're not
I mean,
talking about- we're not talking
proposing
about
things
that.
Like
No, I really-
That's
renaming
not-
Greenland
Well,
into
it's
red,
in
white,
mind,
and
yeah,
blue.
we're
Land.
not-
I just wanna
we're
know
not-
how
it's not a
helping the
renaming.
economy.
You asked
No.
me a question about eggs.
This
So
is-
I don't mind answering.
This
the
is
question.
no. This isn't a no. Eggs
Good
because
question,
eggs
good
are not a
question.
real opinion.
It's a good question.
No, this is going to be an
Talk about
opinion-based
inflation. He has
thing.
a very good question about inflation.
Guys, we're running out of time.
I don't mind inflation.
We only have
What?
we have less than 20 minutes left of this
It's okay,
debate.
let them
Everybody
talk
shut
about-
up.
On inflation. Why
Do-
can't we
do
talk about inflation?
I literally did hours of research for you assholes. Shut up and do these questions.
Maybe at the end you guys could both ask a question.
At the end
Yeah.
you could free for all, but we're getting through these fucking questions because
Alright.
I wrote them.
All right.
Okay?
All right, I'm
God
just
damn it. Okay.
He's not MSNBC.
Just because
Yes, why?
because life disagrees with
I'm
him.
Scary World, and no one can read that because there's no lighting.
All right, let's get back to the program.
Anyway, Greenland and its conquering. So Donald J. Trump wants to purchase or seize Greenland from Denmark. It is presumed that Donald Trump wants to have the U.S. control of this land for its natural resources, among many other unrevealed reasons. Now, here's our question. Should America control Greenland? Why or why not? And what would be the best plan to seize Greenland if it were up to you, or repair relations if you don't agree with seizing Greenland?
Okay, so you want to go first?
Sure.
A little bit
I mean,
of another time.
I mean, quite honestly, this shouldn't even be a real question. This shouldn't even be in conversation. Greenland is not going to be bought by us. And frankly, if we are really
Entertaining the idea.
we're talking about using our American taxpayer dollars once again to buy a foreign country that has no intention of being bought. So once again, I just kind of keep going back to he wants to rebuild Gaza, he wants to buy Greenland, he wants to buy all of these things. Still haven't seen anything that's going to help you.
How is he helping you?
How? What has he passed? What are his plans? Does he have any fucking thing? He ran on no tax on tips. Has that happened?
This is straight from the original question. We're moving our time to Bud.
Thank you. Okay, so I don't speak for Trump. I just want to tell you, his hat. Many times, Trump speaks his negotiating technique. The idea is not, by the way, not just, the idea of buying Greenland has been surfaced at least 4 or 5 times in the history of government. In the 1800s, there was another president, I think it was Truman. Truman, one of them wanted to buy it several times. And the reason is because they have unbelievable resources and it's close to Russia. And because of that, the fear of that Russia playing a bigger role in that area is one of the reasons. The reason that he brought up as a tactic is because he wants us to be able to play a bigger role in Greenland and get more involved in the resources and make sure that there is more protection for the people there so that another country can't get involved in it. And that's what the reason is. It's a tactic.
That's
Not every
what NATO
not
exists
not
for.
not not every word that everybody speaks is exactly the right is exactly that way. It's usually a tactic. And do you mind if I would you mind moderator? He asked 2 questions. I really would appreciate it if you respond to that. That's okay.
What did he ask?
He asked about inflation. He asked about the market.
We're gonna talk about that later.
Okay, sorry.
You need to stay on topic.
Sam, I would love to answer.
If this topic is over, then we're gonna talk about that
I
later.
really trying.
Nope, sucks to suck. You told me to look things up, so we're gonna go by my
That's fine.
questions. Because we already know where you guys stand on that. So what?
Let's just get to the question.
There's no point. Okay, next question. So this has to do with transgenderism. Your favorite thing, bud. You love talking about gay people. So, trans people are no longer recognized as valid gender options by the U.S. government. Sex and gender are considered two different definitions in the Oxford Dictionary. So, sex is defined as biological orientation, female, male, transgender, female, intersex, etc. Examples of gender, which is referring to gender expression, would be female, male, non-binary, etc. Should the United States recognize trans people as a valid marker, meaning on like driver's license and passports, for Americans who are biologically representative of being considered transgender? Or do you think of any like alternative solutions maybe?
You want to know?
How much time do I have to answer the question?
Shit, hold on. Wait a minute. Okay. I don't know. Just answer it however
I would
you
just
want.
like to choose my words carefully, so just
Bear with me. So like,
I feel here
that
the government should not really be super involved with what's going on in the transgender community. However, I do empathize
with Republicans,
for their concerns here.
because I do think that there are valid concerns within the transgender community. Sorry, I just can't believe you. A little heart attack there. I knew you would, bud. The real.
But stop hitting the lavalier microphone that you bought, thanks.
I mean,
The truth of it is that transgender people really occupy less than 1% of the population. I don't really think it should be as hot button an issue as it is. I don't really think it should be in conversation as much as it is. But, being that it is, and is in conversation, I think the real answer here is I think society just kind of has to work itself out here. If, you know, I don't really believe the government should be in your doctor's office telling you what surgeries you can or can't have. I don't believe that the government should be in your doctor's office telling you what therapies that you're allowed to take. With that being said, I do
wonder if
there are sections of academia which have been hijacked by pharmaceutical companies and people that profit off of transgender surgeries and treatments. That's not to say that transgender people don't exist, but I do see
more and more
gender fluidity now than ever before. And as a gay man, I have to tell you, there are times when that simply doesn't pass the smell test. It just doesn't make a ton of sense. I have been in many,
personal scenarios
where it doesn't fully add up. I will always respect that person, and I will treat that person with dignity, but I think that it's something that we should be allowed to talk about more openly without such hostility, and I think that
most people kind of agree.
with a more middle-of-the-line approach on this.
This is not a debate, actually. I sort of agree with most of what you said. I don't even know where to start. It seems like one hundred people watching outside. But I guess that's why we have to be very happy that our candidate is going to make sure that these pharmaceutical companies.
No.
Excuse me. That these
I was with you, bud, and then it just.
That he's going to make sure the pharmaceutical companies are not utilizing. I like to speak. That are not trying to overprescribe medications and procedures to people that might not need it, and make sure that things are done, that we evaluate everything, because he's an outsider with different points of view. But I really, and I think we both agree, you do what the hell you want. You're 21 years old. You're old enough. Maybe when you're younger. then you should be researchers and you still looking very harmful to your health and so forth. But other than that, if you want to do something, just do it. I don't care. The government doesn't care. Shouldn't care. You get the job you want and do a place you want to live. I don't have the time and energy. There's a lot more problems in this world. So do what the hell you want and please don't pick on them. Let them do what they want. That's basically it. And I agree with what he said. I'd be very happy though that we have someone looking into what's going on in the pharmaceutical companies and not just being a rubber stamp. That's all they say.
So, can I just tag along on that?
Sure. Well, Maha is actually our next topic anyway, so
Okay,
if you
so
wanted
we
to
roll right into
that.
So I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I can appreciate some of what RFK wants to do. I'm old enough to remember when Michelle Obama wanted to do many of the same things, and you guys ran her out of town.
Oh, wait, are you separate than me? Or you back to Austin? Sorry.
Republican, sorry. I remember when, she just wanted kids to eat more fucking vegetables and they called her a Nazi, but I mean, whatever. RFK also sits there and says things like he believes HIV came from poppers and gay men using drugs, which is completely wrong and unfounded and terrible. He said that Lyme disease is a biologically made bioweapon. He just has so many. Aside from the fact that he's completely anti-vaccine, and literally even Mitch McConnell voted against him. Weird how the one guy that survived polio voted against him. He's very dangerous, and he should not be in the position that he's in. We're going to see a lot of people get very sick because of him.
Right. So, I have a different opinion on that one.
I know.
First of all, Mitch McConnell is out. He's out against Trump. That's not Trump. That's all right from both things. That's on Trump. But he's up past that. So, I think it's very important to have someone think outside the box with new ideas and new things. And I also think that it's somebody, if he comes out and says, this vaccine is good, people will trust him. He's the type of person that looks at all the facts, that looks at information. He'll look at things like whether there are certain ways we eat fruits and vegetables, whether that's affecting our children, whether all the different chemicals that go into our food, how they're making us feel, and how that's helping or hurting society. He'll be much more objective with the types of things that go to obesity. He'll open the world with different ideas, and he'll base it on the science that he sees. And so having someone not just being a rubber stamp, or big pharma, or big this, or big that, being open-minded, because he really cares about it, I think it's a great thing. And I don't agree with everything. And the thing about it is, Kenny's a big Democrat in the past, and I don't agree with a lot of things he believes in. We differ on abortion, let's just say, for example. But the idea is that you have somebody who is not just going to say what everyone expects to say, but it's going to look at all the facts. And I think that I'm really happy that Kenny's in that position.
Okay,
Kennedy,
so
sorry, just really quick. He's exploited dead children in his books for his own agenda. He sat there and said so many
False statements regarding science and medicine. I really think everybody should do their own research on this person and see for themselves.
okay, well, we're going to go into the actual question that's regarding this that I did research on, and I put in the effort to put a preface and back story and stuff. So I know we don't like listening to women anymore, but I'm fucking here, so you're going to listen to me.
I think it's good that statement.
I know, men fucking hate me. It's all I talk about on my podcast now, really. Scary
Let's
World.
go back to it.
God.
I'm gonna have a lot to edit.
Yes.
All right, shut up. Anyway, here we go. We're going to go into MAHA, Make America Healthy Again initiatives.
That camera gone.
They are run by
No.
U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services, RFK Jr. He wants to investigate the use of psychiatric medications such as antidepressants, antipsychotics, and ADHD medications. One idea he has put forth is he wanted to encourage people who take these medications to be sent to wellness farms, where citizens will go to be rehabilitated to get off of the medications. This includes legal and illegal uses of medications and drugs. Citizens would be expected to partake in growing organic food as a main task of their rehabilitation residency. This is planning on being taxpayer funded and not privatized. So the question of this is this a good idea or is this a bad idea? Why?
I'd like to
Hold
ask,
for a sec. I'm gonna switch the card.
How is, can I ask a question? Now you
Wait,
wait
hold.
for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is that not a biased question to you?
It's not biased.
How is that not? I don't understand.
I'm
Because
only
you-
go- I'm only
no,
going
no,
by
no,
what
no.
he said.
Let me
Those are
finish.
his own
Listen,
words.
stop. Can I
That's
just
what he
talk
said.
about it?
It's not a biased question if it came out of his
The
fucking
reason-
mouth.
Thank you. Can I talk about it? If you take a person's position and you take a negative thing that you're gonna
Well,
find,
it was just
that's
an idea.
no, but if you ask me, say, do you think Kennedy's gonna do a good job? That's not a biased question. But you take something that is totally, that many people, I mean, I'm more than happy to answer the question. But if you take something that's negative about a person, most are gonna find negative, and you ask that question,
I don't think
that's
it's negative.
tilted. That is
I think we should
that's
have
tilted.
reform in rehabilitation and drug
but that's tilted. That's tilted.
rehabilitation. I'm also anti like psych medications, and I think they're over prescribed,
But again,
and I think that a lot of people really hurt themselves on those things. So that's my opinion. So I think that's actually kind of on the right track of a decent idea if it gets a little bit rethinked.
right,
So, but that's my opinion, and that's why it's
Where are we gonna
unbiased.
A
go?
lot right now. I'm gonna roll the camera again. I think that
Which one we left anyway?
after that, I think they should ask one question each.
That's okay.
You know.
Well, my last question is with
DEI. So if you wanted to
great.
do
yours or go for DEI.
I'd rather have ours. Because again, DI is definitely, well, I love it.
You guys can do
I mean,
your
the
do your
Camera is
question.
rolling again. So whenever you guys are ready to hop back into it, we have it here.
There's a question about this, you want to look at the same
Where
question?
did we did you want me to restate?
the Maha question.
No, I got that.
Okay.
So I think that if you want to ask your last question, let's ask her last question, and then you guys ask one question to each other each.
Okay. Well, let's
Let's go with the wellness forms thing and talk about that.
Did you get the question? You got it?
I got it. Yeah.
Okay, so I think they're taking the most extreme positions that Kennedy is, and I don't think that's really a fair question, because honestly, there's so many different things here. The idea, by the way, that our government lied to us so much with COVID, with things like that, there was no problem with the vaccine, that everybody should take it, everything's perfect, everything's good. I feel that side effects.
Trump's vaccine.
Trump's vaccine, 100% Trump's vaccine, forced by Joe Biden to come in. It's fine. And listen, I'm not Trump, so it's fine. I may not agree with everything he said, I don't really care. But yeah, he pushed that vaccine to get it done because it was by the administration, not authorities. But I thought it was a terrible idea. I thought it should have been more about treatments than vaccines. That's my opinion. So that's what it is. So the idea that we have somebody who comes and questions things that normal medical authorities think is, I think it's refreshing. I think the idea of a farm maybe to help people with mental health treatment, I think it might be a good idea. I think we should open the options. I think the idea that we give kids at very, very young age these antipsychotic medicines at a very young age maybe is something we should consider. It's just important to have somebody ask the question and look at the data instead of just saying yes, yes, yes because the pharma is going to check later on at 35. Let's just be honest about it. So I think Kennedy is the type of person that would do that. I don't know if this procedure's right or that procedure's right, but I just know we need to ask the question.
I didn't really have a follow-up to that, quite honestly. I mean, as I said, I don't think Kennedy's the right choice here. That's really where the line ends for me. I mean, I think there are people with similar ideas who are way more qualified than him. I think he's just dangerous in general, and I don't think he could be there.
Okay, but what about do you think that there should be reform, like federally on addiction, but also including people who suffer with psychiatric issues that they take medications for?
I mean, I agree with the notion that I think some of those psychiatric drugs are way overprescribed. I think that prescribing those antipsychotic drugs to children should be less. What was the second part of that question?
Do you think that there should be an initiative to get people off of psychiatric medications led by the federal government?
I don't know about an initiative. I think a push. I don't know what the right wording would be, honestly. But I mean, like, I think, I think I think a lot of Kennedy's ideas could be good. I think the problem is him.
You know, and I think, okay, going to what Bud said about taking the most extreme parts of somebody. Well, I actually do think that's a fair question because he has a lot of power. He's running the third largest government agency in our country right now, and he does have the power to rubber stamp or not rubber stamp, certain medications, certain treatments, certain things going on throughout medicine. So, I do think that's an entirely fair question because if he has extreme positions, those are something we need to know about. And unfortunately, he does have a lot of extreme positions. So the question is fair. And going back to what you said, I do think that some of his ideas aren't bad. But some of them, like sitting there saying that the water is making the men gay in the country and feminizing them, is frankly offensive. Offensive. Look at me, bud.
I'm just looking at the camera. So
I think
I know, but I
the
mean, I'm
water's
trying to
turning
talk
us
to you.
gay.
I know, but if you look at the camera,
and
I know that's what he told me to do. I mean,
That's, to me, that's really frightening.
That's really frightening.
Are we allowed to respond to that anyway?
Yeah.
So again, I just feel like that idea, I don't know all the facts pertaining to that, so I don't want to take things out of context. I know in my experience in life there are things that I might have said like, well, probably don't try to not public office. But I would say that I think everything needs to be looked at in life about different things. I don't know where that came from, so would I think that water makes people gay? No, I don't think that would happen. I drank a lot of water, it hasn't made me gay yet, but maybe it's the type of water I drink. I drink a bottle of water, so maybe,
Never too late to start, bud.
maybe it is. So,
It's not the Poland Springs.
you want
It's
to
the hole in the spring.
Yeah, that's right. It's actually Zephyr Hills in Florida. That's why Miami's flooded with gays. All right, moving on. So I guess you guys ask each other your
You wanted to
questions.
ask about the.
You wanna-
the
Did you want to talk about DEI? We don't have to.
I
if you
wanted
want.
I wanted to answer Sam's questions about the no taxes.
Yeah.
Just make sure I understood that okay.
Sure,
Because
I'd love to hear it.
Let's do that. We're gonna end with that.
That is not to be done by the president of the executive. That's on the legislature. And that
But
is
you ran
going.
on it.
What?
You
Yeah.
ran on it.
Yeah, they're passing the budget. It's gonna be done in March. There'll be no
There's
tax.
nothing in that.
There'll be. There will definitely be no tax subsidies, and there'll be no tax security benefits. It will be in the budget, and if not, I'll be quite shocked. The other bank issues, I would think that would be in the budget for the Senate and the House.
Can I
Thanks for
can we just have a conversation for a second?
No, we can't.
Please.
Here,
We're at the- we're
look
at
at
the
each
end.
other. Look
Oh,
at each
we're at
other.
the end.
Oh, we allowed to look at each other?
Yeah, look
Yeah,
at
you-
each other.
you-
Yeah,
We're
look
at
at
the
each
end.
other.
Oh, no.
Can't allow us
So, 2 nights ago, the Congress had to pass a bill. The Republicans, because they're in control of the Congress, started voting at 6 p.m. because they knew that there would be less media coverage around it. In that vote, they want to pass a giant tax cut for billionaires and corporations. They plan to pay for it.
Can I stop
with
with-
no.
Here, just let him finish the thought and then you
With
rebut,
cuts
okay?
to programs that working people rely on, popular and necessary programs like Medicaid, Medicare, and SNAP benefits are all being targeted in the current
Budget proposal right now. The goal is to take money away from you and give it to the wealthiest corporations and billionaires, even if it means kicking your parents out of their nursing homes
and turning off Medicaid and poorest children.
You caught me. You got it. That's
It's
what I
not
want.
you, it's what
No,
the Republicans
That's
are
what I
doing.
voted for. I want to kick the poor people out. He
I'm
figured
not
it out.
saying you
No, I
voted for
did.
that.
I did. He figured it
I'm
out.
saying that this
That's
is what
it.
they're doing, though.
So let me just say something, Sam. Can I jump 1 second?
One last point. One last point.
No. One last point.
The tax cut is 850 times larger for wealthier people than it is for poor
Okay,
people in
all
this
right.
country.
So anyway,
850
there's
times.
the first couple of notes, just so you know. Who pays most of taxes? Rich people or poor people? In general. Rich people. We have more taxes. So the percentage wise, number 2. Number 1, number 2.
Proportional.
No, that's right. How many people get jobs from poor people versus rich people? In general, how many companies, billionaires have people work for? Do they work for? I don't know.
But
I
we've tested
didn't interrupt you. I
trickle-down
didn't interrupt you.
We're
I
having a
didn't-
conversation.
I know, but
We're-
interrupted. I'm just saying. I
We've
the point.
tested trickle-down
We
economics
have.
for
It worked
decades.
very well.
And it didn't work at all.
It didn't work at all.
It didn't work at
It worked
all.
out wrong.
There's no proof of that.
It did. A lot of people jobs that economies did.
No, that's not
That is
true,
true. That is
though,
true. That is
bud.
true. That
Like
is true.
we have factual studies
Rich
to prove
people
that.
have job money. They buy things. They hire people to work, and then their benefits go up and everywhere else. And that's the thing. The more the economy grows. We tried socialism in Cuba right now. They're doing not too well.
When did we
Cuba,
try socialism?
Cuba's not doing very well in socialism.
When has that ever happened
It has,
here?
what? No, I'm saying in Cuba, all the world has tried socialism. It has not worked very well because again,
Denmark, Sweden.
that's not total socialism.
They are.
That's
They are
that's
socialist.
They're the happiest people
No,
in the
they're
world.
not. They're not.
They
total
pay 68% in
They're not
taxes,
total
and they're
socialists.
happiest.
Okay,
people.
okay. So the point of it, if you like that, it's the country together. But in America, we like to earn our money and move ourselves up the ladder by inventing and creating and doing things. And all people can go up that ladder based on what they do, by the means they have, and they try their best. They try to make things as fair to starting ground as we can. And that's the government role. To try to make sure that the ground to start is as fair as it can be. But everybody has
Agreed.
But we don't have it based on somebody just because they earn their benefits. And they know what that makes you feel good. Now, one of the things I think they're going to be trying to do is they're going to take people that are getting disability and say you have to work. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. No, it's good because we want people to start feeling good about themselves. Getting government money for doing nothing hurts people. Hurts them. Okay?
It's
So
like
the
the
idea,
forced
Pay resignation.
the idea
now, those
the
people are getting
idea,
paid for nothing.
the idea that people earn money and they get it because they're doing a good job is a great feeling. And the government is going to try to do the best they can to get people who are on disability to have some ability to feel good about themselves and earn something. And that's a great thing in this country to have. Because work makes you feel good as a whole instead of sitting home getting a check for nothing. You don't feel good always for no benefit. And yourself and society as a whole. That's a great deal.
Great, I want to respond to that really quick.
DEIA is actually the
Full acronym there.
part of DEI is making sure disabled people are able to get jobs. They are part of those DEI hires. So
You're talking about making
sure those people have pay. They're cutting the programs that are helping them get jobs.
Again, we like to take the most emotional part of the issue.
It's not an
A
emotional
lot,
part of
a lot
the
of
issue.
people are getting.
They're
a
cutting
lot-
DEI programs across the entire
Yeah,
country.
they're cutting them.
Those
100%.
people that benefited from those DEI programs, including disabled
People and veterans no longer have those abilities, those programs helping them.
It's about merit. So someone who's a vet.
Right, like Pete Hegseth.
And people are, well, if you don't think he's good, then fine. I thought he was very good. But
He's not.
Okay, well,
He has no merit.
He has no way, he has no qualifications for that
that's
role.
not true.
Most of the
That's
people,
not true. He's-
most
he's
of the
served in
people in
the
Trump's
military,
cabinet
Okay,
have
that's
no
not-
qualifications for
that's
that
not
role.
true.
He's never, you know,
Pete Hegseth specifically, he's never managed
He
more than
was
1,400
military.
people.
and he's now managing the largest
He
federal
has
organization in the
been
entire
one of
country.
He was been a major player. I think I have in my notes.
Yes, he has been a major
He
player.
has-
all the women agree. There's a rape allegation
Oh,
and,
well, that's-
and a police report
Oh,
for it.
isn't that nice? We're now basing people's life on allegations. Isn't that nice?
There's a police report.
That's very nice.
His own mother
Oh my
said he
God,
was an
okay.
abuser of women.
Well, okay, well, that's interesting because there was another part that was different. But it's nice. It's nice how we base things on we throw things at people when they decide to become a public servant. I think that allegations on anybody.
There's a police
And
report.
I don't care police reports. There are police reports. A lot of people that I mean, tomorrow, Sam, listen to me. Tomorrow you can walk out the store and someone can accuse you. Honestly, everybody in my life is 100% innocent before they go. And even then, we're not even sure because there's such taint on politics and such taint on bias. There's been, in the past, people who found guilty because they were black, and people found guilty because they were gay, and they found because they were Jewish. And so don't just say just because someone's
And he's
accused
an
of
abuser of women.
Okay, no, I don't. That's disgusting. Okay, because someone's accused of something. We do not do that. That's not what society is about. It's about.
His own mother accused him of
Okay,
it.
Again,
His
there's
own
no-
mom.
Okay, great. You know what? Until someone's proven a court of law, that's nothing. We never do that to anybody. I'm not going to do that here. This is not a judge and jury. I would do that. But thank you. I think we're at the end of the debate times.
But didn't you have one question for Sam?
Yeah. Well, my question to Sam is basically, what would you do to lower the deficit and make sure your family has better? Or do you think that the government? What would you do to make sure the bureaucracy is actually accomplishing what it's supposed to? Do you think everything that Doge said is a lie? Do you think that?
Yes.
Do you think that see. All right. So that's
I mean,
that's
even-
it. No, that's it.
even
That's it.
on
That's
their
it.
website
Everything's
right now.
everything's
Even
wrong.
on their
That's it.
website, even on their website right now, Doge said that they cut
Okay.
$55 billion worth of things. When you actually add up the receipts, it's about $2 billion.
They're $53 billion off of what
They're saying that they cut. So
they're a lie. They also lied when they said that
$50 million to $100 million are going for condoms
To Gaza, that's a lie. That's a lie.
They went to
That was
okay.
$8 million in AIDS medication to Gaza in Mozambique. So they're just lying. They're lying outright. They are lying about everything.
Okay, so I would say that
He's cutting
You
NASA.
make-
He's cutting. Elon is cutting NASA, but funding Tesla and SpaceX. He's gutting the Department of Justice while they're sitting there investigating his company X. You know,
There's so many conflicts of interest here. There's so many
Really?
blatant. Yes.
it's so interesting.
Yes,
a man
but-
that is one of the wealthiest person, maybe the wealthiest person in the world, that really has no real reason to serve government other than his public service, is accusing him of all this stuff. It's very interesting because there's really no benefit to do this because he's got enough money in his pocket. It's not really that.
made $64 billion since Trump got elected.
Wait, yeah, well, again, you know what? You can throw things out all over the place. I mean, the facts will prove it in the end. So I'm not
Yes,
gonna
they will.
And I'm very happy. What's going to happen? Oh, by the way, with inflation, we touched on that. You're right. That's one thing I do have an issue. I would love to see inflation go down. But more importantly is that we have to bring factory jobs and businesses back to America. During the administration of the past, Republican and Democrat, they sold our factory workers to China and other countries, and they had got many benefits, and the tariffs are making things more equal, so we can start building in this country again and have the best paying jobs for Americans working here, and making sure that countries like China that are our enemy, that we don't have to rely on them. So that's a great thing, and I'm hoping that over time, with the low tax rates that we have in this country, businesses will come to this country and not go to other countries, and we will be competitive and have better jobs for all Americans, because I want to make America great, first of all. Thank you.
Closing statements?
That's a closing
Well, that do you want that to be your closing statement, Bud?
statement.
That was your closing statement, I think, Bud. So Sam, one closing statement, and then we're donesies.
Well, I mean, there's just too much to unpack in all of this because they are flooding the zone.
You have
right now
1 minute.
I know, but they're flooding the zone with so many different things that it's hard to kind of hit all of the topics. Some things that I don't want to get lost though in the sauce. You know, we just saw these horrific fires in LA, and the firefighter chief was a woman, and the Republicans claimed that she was a DEI hire because she was a lesbian. That rhetoric got her killed. She was found deaf in her home. Similarly, there was an 11-year-old girl in Texas. She was being bullied, and the kids told her that they were going to call ICE on her parents and get them deported. This 11-year-old girl killed herself. These policies are having a real effect. And, Bud, with all due respect, you voted for a rapist. That's my closing statement.
I got it. Since he did that, I really find it detestable this when he made that. Again, he likes to accuse people without facts, and I find that very wrong. I would never do that to anybody. Thank you. I would never do that with anybody. Everybody
Look
has,
out, folks.
again, this is what Democrats do. They just don't let you finish a statement. They jump all over.
Not
You know
a
what?
Democrat.
Well, they obviously are because you're jumping over them. That's one of the things.
That's
So I didn't finish my statement. So my goal again, I'm really happy that we are moving in the right directions. We are making tax cuts that will bring businesses back to this country. We are bringing businesses back to this country. We're making sure the tariffs are not abusing our people. We are again. I can't get a statement through. We are trying to bring peace with Ukraine and Russia and in the world. We're trying to bring peace again. So, okay, so I guess I will not be able to finish this statement on my show, but thank you, Sam, for being here and all the best. God willing, I am right because for the next 3 years we are on the president.
I'll protect your kids more
Thank
than
you.
you.
Have a nice one.